Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Hope and the Truth. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. With me today, lovely Ava Mucikyan. I think I said that right. Owner of the Salt Room, and the premise of today's show and every show is to renew your hope and strengthen our faith in the Lord. Ava, let's get started on this amazing business, and I've been there. So tell me about what is the Salt Room.
Hi, the Salt Room is a total wellness center. We treat mainly people with respiratory issues and skin disorders, such as asthma, allergies, bronchitis, pneumonia, COPD, sleep apnea, emphysema, eczema, psoriasis. There's a whole list of them, anywhere from upper lower respiratory all the way to skin. It also has been proven lately by Columbia University that it treats depression, anxiety, and
Really?
all these conditions. So Salt Cave itself is a complete microclimate of a salt room. So it's just like going to a salt cave. It's just really pretty decorated. And it's full of negative ions because when you illuminate salt rocks, especially Himalayan ones, they emit negative ions. And negative ions, as we know, are best to be found in waterfalls, rainforests, where nature is at its purest. So by just sitting there for 45 minutes and soaking in those negative ions, there's a whole new array of benefits by just doing that, of course. And then you're forced to meditate for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
How bad can it be, right?
You're at peace with your thoughts, or maybe not peace, but you're left alone with your thoughts.
Right. So there's a generator that's installed behind every salt room that grinds and disperses pharmaceutical salt into the air. Think of it as dry saline therapy, or going to the ocean. There's no water element to it.
Yes.
So dry salt actually penetrates into our system a lot better and absorbs. Our system absorbs it a lot better. So when you're actually deep breathing all this salt into your lungs, the bottom alveoli all the way to upper sinuses, it scrubs all that mucus out. It cleanses the sinuses and just gets everything out of your system, kills all the bacteria. So you come out of one session already breathing and feeling a lot better.
Really? Now, we're going to get into more details on how it helps stuff. But
and it's 100% natural and no side effects. How fun.
It's amazing. I've used this treatment, and it's funny because I didn't know what to expect. To go into a microenvironment, I know there's some other places out here that they're claiming they're a salt room. Your room is very different because, I mean, it's literally a complete microenvironment the way that you've kind of set that up. And it is relaxing. What is your background? How did you get into this? I'm curious.
I had to ask that question.
I had to ask that question.
Well, degree in international relations.
Okay.
Career in banking.
All right.
Retired as a VP of small business banking from a major bank, and just up and said, don't want to do the corporate anymore. And then my son always had dry nose. Living in Vegas is not fun, so. No. There's always that necessity to maintain your respiratory tract, and allergies were killing it. So we were like, you know what? I'm on my search to find a natural way of doing this. And I knew about the therapy obviously from being from overseas, and I just never thought that there is anything here. So when I traveled across country and I started visiting different salt rooms, which were just barely catching on to the therapy here in the U.S., I realized that there's none in Vegas, so we decided to be the first.
Oh, wow. And it's interesting because your salt is the first one I've ever been in, but it's interesting how stuff in the environment naturally helps us. And kind of become so removed from it, we don't realize the benefits of nature. And it's such a fascinating thing to go from really one end of the spectrum into the health field, but you can start to relate because you're like, well, I have family members that aren't feeling well. How can something benefit them? And it's interesting because sometimes it's the simplest things that benefit them the most. And I know when I first went for a treatment, I wasn't really familiar with it. Because someone referred me, like, let me check it out. And it's strange because you're sitting there and you're breathing in and you can feel it. You're like, something's happening. And literally after one treatment, people are like, well, is it invasive? Not invasive. You're sitting there literally just breathing the whole time. And it scrubs the lungs. You feel it the next day. I mean, personally, because I'll make the claims. You can feel bronchial dilation, especially when you go to work out. And Vegas, really, we have awful air. Awful. It's getting worse. Awful air. So people are starting to notice lung issues, skin irritations, pneumonia, bronchitis, certain aspects of lung cancer. When we work with a lot of these people that suffer from these illnesses, and one of the goals that we want to do is find complementary things that can help. So it's not where there's just one treatment, but something like this, where someone goes, oh, this is much better than getting, let's say a complete thing where it's a bronchial dilator, but I'm breathing in a stimulant. At least this, it's more natural. For children, it's much better because it helps with skin irritation. I know there's a few kids we've spoken to that had asthma. They'll sit in the room and they feel much better. I think it's great how you kind of formed that. What are some success stories that you've seen personally?
Well, to mention first that we have a separate kids room.
Okay.
It's kids up to 12. And you can come as early as newborn. It's completely safe. Kids up to 12 going to one where it's fun to play, watch TV while they're getting treated, so they don't even notice they're being treated. And for adults, we have the Zen Salt Cave. But some very fascinating stories actually went through the doors in 2 years. We had a child who basically was going to hospital every other day from asthma attacks. And doctors pretty much just put her on all these steroids, and they were giving crazy side effects, and the mom was just desperate. So she was driving all the way from Henderson, literally daily, to just put the kid into the salt room. And about a month, the doctor just couldn't believe his eyes. He said, "I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to know what you're doing, but keep doing it."
Yeah.
He couldn't endorse it, but he just said, it's working, so keep doing it. Then after that, she was coming already once or twice a week to just maintain it, and never had to use a nebulizer, never had to go to the hospital after that.
That's interesting. See, I realized something. I didn't realize, and we're going to talk about the other services that you guys provide. I didn't realize that kids' room was also a salt environment.
It's a daycare.
Well, no, I mean, I think I see there's kids in there. The way that's broken up is there's different rooms. There's a main salt cave. What other services does the facility, I'll let you explain at your facility, do you currently offer? I mean, I know you have events.
Well, we tried, the whole idea when we started the salt room was to bring people in, obviously, because it is a new therapy, and I understood that it's going to be difficult to tell people to give me money to do something when they haven't ever done it, right? So we decided to incorporate some of the conventional services, so that way it brings people through the doors, that way they get to experience the whole concept, and now people were more open than I ever thought they would be, but it was awesome. But we have massages, we have facials, we do different body treatments, we do yoga and meditation classes, which kind of sort of came about after we opened the doors. These instructors started coming in and using the space, which I love it because they graced, Salt Cave with their presence, and it's just wonderful to have all these amazing people and healers and doing all these instrumental guided meditations and bring so much grace to the cave. The massage room is also a salt cave, and the cool part about it is not just the massage you're getting while you're getting therapy with the massage. It actually opens up your breathing, so when you go face down getting a massage, you don't get all sinus plugged up, because I can breathe when I go face down on a massage, so it's really cool because you can breathe throughout the entire process, and it's more fun.
I mean, it truly is a wellness facility because you're offering all these services, and the benefit is something that someone might normally do. You get the added benefit of actually like a breathing treatment, not even realizing that you're getting a breathing treatment.
Right.
Now, I hear you're opening another location. Is this true? What's going on here?
It is true. We're building our Henderson location
Okay.
because we had so many clients driving from Henderson and just seriously asking to open one over there because they love the therapy, they just don't want to drive.
Yeah.
It's just too long of a drive. So finally, 2 years down, we are officially building our Henderson location, about 2 months away from opening. So
Wow, it's coming to you, Henderson. So I have another question. I know in regards to when people get treatments, one of the things that I find with patients and people that we speak with is it's a good recovery method, not just because of the treatment. We had a conversation before about there's kind of a meditative side to sitting in a room, not by yourself, but in a room where it's quiet with your thoughts. How have you seen this maybe personally with people? I'll tell you my experience. People don't realize they're not exposed to quiet. In the hustle and bustle of life every day, they're like, no, I have time to myself, but they really don't have time to themselves. And when you're in that kind of environment where you're almost in a way forced to deal with the chatter that's in your brain, how does it affect it in that way that you've seen yourself? Because I can only speak for myself.
Oh, I can speak for myself. I was the most OCD and type A person that you would ever meet, especially being in banking, had to be organized and all. And about a year and a half, nobody knows this, but about a year and a half owning the salt room, I could not personally sit 45 minutes in that salt cave. Just couldn't. Just didn't have the patience. And, some things got to give. So then I realized, and of course everybody kept telling me how metaphysically salt clears the energy. It just opens you up to a whole new doorway to clean yourself internally. And, just amazing. I can sit there for 45 minutes, no problem, meditate, deal with the chatter, and actually try to stop it.
And I think
it's
that's
a lot easier to meditate in the salt cave because energy is a lot clearer.
Yeah, it really is a peaceful environment. Even though there's other people around, it's peaceful. You don't even realize like you're by yourself. And there's like a meditative kind of peace that starts to come over you. And even if it's something where you don't feel like you're sick and like, well, my lungs are fine, it's something that kind of complements just
And
your
it's a
life.
great immune boost.
Yes.
Even if you have nothing at all, it's very easy to deal with the seasonal colds and flus if you just regularly visit the Salt Cave, because you kill the bacteria before it gets anywhere.
Which is good. I mean, like I said, it's inexpensive. And you guys have other stuff. You actually sell salt lamps. Tell me about the salt lamps.
Well, salt lamps are natural ionizers, and that's where the whole started, because I was always fascinated actually by salt lamps, because they had this peaceful glow to them that I didn't know much about, but it was just that had that magnetic attraction to it. And by doing a lot of research, I realized that they're not just pretty. And there's a reason they energetically attract people so much, because they are full of benefits. Salt, Himalayan salt in general, has about 84 minerals and elements that are activated as soon as the heat touches them. So they start emitting these negative ions. So a lot of people will walk into the store and be like, oh, it smells so good in here. But we're an allergy center. We don't spray anything. We don't do anything. It's just because there's so many salt lamps plugged in, it constantly cleans and purifies the air. So when you walk in, all you're smelling is clean air, which we forgot what it smells like.
I was going to say, I never noticed that. But yeah, there's a clean smell when you walk in the door. The other thing is because of the pervasiveness of electronics. How does it counterbalance that? Because their houses are loaded with them.
Right. It actually neutralizes all the positive ions in the air from electronics, dust, pollen, dirt. So it emits the ions and negative ions, and it kills all the positive ones as they get emitted into the air. That's why people put it in their bedrooms, by their TVs, where they hang out, most offices, computers. It's terrible. So you'll feel a big difference.
And it's interesting. A lot of times people start getting headaches. I'll tell them, I go, unplug from the electronics and see what starts to change in your way of thinking and stuff like this. But this is a great way to kind of neutralize something. If people are like, look, I'm in the house, I can't turn everything off. What's a way to kind of offshoot what's happening, or offset what's happening? What other upcoming events do you have? I mean, besides the building of a new facility, that's a main thing. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. What in the next maybe few weeks, next month, that people can actually, and we'll get all the contact information, but what events do you have coming up?
Well, we always have a lot of monthly workshops that some tend to stay, some tend to rotate. There's all kinds of, like I said, different instructors that always come through the doors. And we have from spiritual gong meditations, crystal bowl meditations, we have Spanish guitar, violins, we have harp, we have just simple guided meditations for those of you who can't sit still for 45 minutes. So just yoga classes, there's all kinds of ways to experience the Salt Cave and not having to, because I know a lot of you are thinking, oh my gosh, there's no way I can sit for 45 minutes and not say a word. Well, you can take a class, get an instructor or get a massage, or there's so many ways to experience the benefits of salt therapy. So a lot of events, and they're all on the website. You can just simply pick an event and
what's the website?
Come visit. It's www.saltroomlv.com.
And I tell you, please check this place out. I mean, Ava's great with what she's doing for the community, but the place itself, from personal experience, I didn't know what to expect, which is sometimes the best ways to kind of go into these things. You have no preconceived notion, but to leave after one treatment, I think that's why people love it so much, is this is not something where it's like I have to go for a year until I feel something, which is what people are used to. Like, when am I going to... This kicks in after one treatment. And no matter what stage in life you're at, if it's like, well, it's too much to go for 45 minutes, you can go do a massage. You can go do a class. So there's activeness, and as you're kind of easing into that, and then it gets there and it's like, well, I can do this the whole time.
Right.
But please go check them out. And then the Henderson location, 2 months?
About 2 months.
About 2 months. Thank you, Ava, so much for coming by the
you.
show today. And we'll be back in a few, the hope and the truth.